what's up guys, the Insane Game Freak here. This is probably not the video you were expecting, but fuck it, we're gonna talk about it because it was on my mind and I felt like sharing it with you all. So let's get into it. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to the relationships, women and men discussions, because I know some of you guys like that and some of you guys like to hear input and thought. So we're gonna talk about it, but I'm gonna kind of talk about it in a different aspect. I don't even know what I'm calling this video. We'll figure that out along the way. Let's get into it. Waffles. I don't see fucking... So, I think I've mentioned before in a video that I have an online dating profile. And I use, specifically, I will say I use OkCupid, and I will even leave a link to my profile on the site. And the reason why I'm doing this is because it kind of goes into what I want to talk about. I love how people always kind of view the online dating scene as kind of like that loser's last resort thing, as if the game was different on OkCupid, even though it's not. It's literally the same type of game. And the game I'm referring to is, you still gotta bend your ass over and backwards to get talked to a girl. Well, talking to a girl is easier, it's just that the responses are just as fucking scarce as they've always been. Just kind of like how it is, and that's always why I thought was kind of ridiculous, is that we're in this society that tries to promote progressive ideals for women, and, you know, moving out of the shadow of being the girl on the side of the corner talking to her friends and hoping a guy who walks by talks to her and shit. You know, we've gone so far from that the women can do their own shit and they become more independent and they become more self-reliant and they can do things on their own, and yet the game is literally still the fucking same. I love, and it's kind of insane because on top of that, we still have people running around screaming that they're open-minded and shit. And what I specifically mean by that is you have people who are like, I don't judge by looks, I judge by personality. Okay, but when a guy messages you or even talks to you, you still do the same stupid ass, I'm kind of like, I'm bullshit interested in you kind of crap. And it's like, well, what kind of shit is that? Like, nothing changes this way, and that's the biggest problem. We keep talking about how the game has changed, and, you know, more men are more active, and more women are more active, so we should be having better and easier relations. That's not fucking happening. Also, we have a lot of guys talking about, you know, they always tell about where you run into the thoughts and the hoes and the chicks you don't want to fuck with, but we never really talk about where we find the respectable women at. Like, and then that brings up the question, where do you find the respectable women at? And most people would say some shit like a library or a fucking bookstore, or like, where is the place to meet the women? Because I'm part of this group, I'm the kind of guy who's like, I don't think I'm going to meet my future wife in a bar. But where the place do you have a social gathering that isn't full with a whole bunch of bullshit? And the answer is very few places. Almost every one of those places is going to have bullshit, and that's just partially due to the fact that you're dealing with a whole bunch of different types of people. But if you're also a kind of person who doesn't care for that scene in the first place, someone you're into wouldn't be into that scene, right? Well, where the hell would they hang out? And then the question comes back to you, where the hell do you hang out? And then the answer becomes obvious, at home. You're either at work or you're at home, and it's like, oh, that's the fucking issue. Is that the game hasn't changed, and we've trapped ourselves within our own personal way of doing things. It's like, I have my own set kind of style of chilling by myself, but I want a girlfriend. And then you have your girl who's chilling by herself, but she wants a boyfriend, but we're not really interacting. And then you get online, and everybody wants to get picky as fuck. We get picky as fuck, and you're still doing the same shit. You're still going online, looking at a profile, going yay or nay in your mind, and then messaging. And, you know, realistically, I feel like we've also gotten to the point where people keep calling themselves open-minded, and they're still being biased as fuck. So I'm like, fine. Because the one thing a lot of people always say is they respect a guy or a girl who comes up to them and tells them what they want and says that they're interested in them. But have you noticed that a lot of those people don't still get rejected, right? And a lot of people go, well, it's because they're just not my type. But at the same time, they're the niggas who's approaching you, though. Like, why are we rejecting those people just as quick as the other people we're just skimming through profiles? To me, shouldn't they be getting more of a chance because they put in the effort and time? Right? Right? And I'm guilty of this too, because, you know, we all have our personal biases. So I'm saying, you know, what makes it even worse is that people change over time. They have these different types of person. Alright, look, this video's bullshit. This video's some bullshit. Fuck it.